Greetings, PCGen enthusiasts. This is Andrew Maitland coming to you with another request from our comment section on how to build a 5e creature and also to explain how kits are used in PCGen. The person was a little confused about that. So let me hit on kits first because that's a fairly simple thing. So a kit is a pre-packaged item. So when you look in your 3.5 books or your Pathfinder books, and they would have these starting packages like an elf ranger or a dwarf fighter or whatever. It was basically pre-assigning feats, skill ranks, class feature selections that you would make for like a ranger or whatever you have to get your character up and running faster. So we don't typically use kits for player characters because we believe that player characters want to make unique choices and customizations, and taking the time to code all those customizations in would be quite time consuming and nigh near impossible because every possible permutation of choices would just take up too much coding time. So we typically use kits for simplistic things. In this case, this solar angel I have up here is being granted an LG, which for us is lawful good. So I'll just show you that's actually set in the alignment for us to lawful good. It's going to be at the top here. So it's not visible to anybody. It gets applied instantly. It's a fire and forget and sets the alignment to lawful good. In other cases, for the player characters, if you take a background, you get certain gear is granted. If you're buying packs, certain gear is granted, so you actually have something to manipulate. And these are all the different packages you get for the different backgrounds or choices you make based on what you chose. And then here's your starting fund. So it will roll the dice for you, times it by a certain value, and gives you that much funds to mess with. In this case, here's a spell book that's been granted to a wizard and automatically equipped. So kits, like I said, are pretty nice. For our 3.5 kits and our 3rd edition kits, you see a lot more usage of where class features like ranger favorite enemy is chosen, or spells are pre-selected and put into a spell book for you. Those are the more advanced cases of kits. But like I said, we typically keep that to a minimum and just typically use it for monsters and NPCs because it is a time-consuming process to put these together. Okay, but that is kits. Basically, I want to slap something pre-made together. For the race creation, we follow pretty much the exact same pattern whenever possible, just to make life simple. And if you watched my previous video, or a few of my previous videos, you'll notice I'm using a pre-made template that I have slapped together because there's a pattern when putting together races together. All races get some form of a stat bonus. So if it's a fixed stat bonus that's not going to change due to being a sub-race of some sort, we just put it right here, and it will actually show up on the monster tab or the race tab, and we'll say this is what it gets. When we're dealing with Pathfinder, because you had the swapping out of different things and you could choose different sub-races, we were forced to put those into abilities which were granted after you made your selections. So that would not show up on the race tab. But for 5e, we don't have swapping out in most cases. So we can pretty much put this right here directly on the race. So standards here. And I'll tell you we didn't follow the standard down here. So we will fix that. Show you what the standard. So it's the racial group and then the subgroup under that. So the group would be angel and then solar. And then we sort it by angel because that's the main group. And then the key is matching this. So if I wanted to change this something else at a later point, I could. And then we output the name solar. So you'll see that it doesn't look like it's in alphabetical order, but it's being grouped with other angels or other demons or whatever group they're part of. The size is always a single letter is how we've designated it. So L is large. And then move is required. You can do walk 0 and then do bonus move or whatever later on. But one of the quirks of PCGen is if you don't have this move tag at all, you will never have a movement at any point in this character's life. It's kind of annoying, and in some cases we're trying to fix that. So this has a walk of 50 and a fly of 150. Should have a maneuverability on here, but I don't see it. Not too concerned. But yeah. AC natural armor, we did this as a variable just to make life a little bit easier. And then it's granting as a racial bonus, and it's 5. You've got true sight and telepathy range. Both are variables, both set here. This is actually predefined in the default that's granted to every creature made. So you don't have to worry about that. And then to grant them all their other racial traits, we put together this internal ability right here, as you can see, and then it is just basically a placeholder to grab all of these. And then the uniqueness here is it's grabbing the type angel, solar, race ability. So the key, as long as it's unique, doesn't really matter in this point because it's going to grab all of these based on the type. As long as it's a special ability and has that type, it's going to pull it in. As you can see, they have quite a bit. Now, we didn't code the great swords. We didn't code the special abilities because, to be honest, the monsters are not even complete. We start, let's see, Dark Mantle, and then they're still remaining to be coded up. So there's quite a bit of work on the 5e set, but for the most part, when a GM uses a character or a creature, they're using the basic defaults and pretty much know what they're going to be doing. So all the abilities would go into an ability. So let me just make sure I point this out. From this point down, this is going to be in an ability file, and all these indentations here, this is just to make it easier for you to see it. These are all supposed to be single lines. So if I take this and do this, and you've seen what it looks like when it's in easy to use developer mode, basically. This is what it really looks like when it's single line, and then we like to clean it up so it all lines up. And what it really looks like is, you see that right there, but this is what it looks like on the actual sheets. But went too far. Okay. And here it is in the actual program. And as you'll see, I actually have everything in here except the last of the racials. But they're just placeholdings right now. Just to make life a little bit easier so you can code them up as you want. So that is the 5e races. Like I said, they're typical to both the 3rd edition standard and the 3.5 standard and the Pathfinder standard. We use the same exact tags. We use them the exact same way. The only difference is with these guys, I actually didn't see the monster thing, so let's double check. Here we are. The hit dice class. So instead of celestial or aberration or undead, 5e uses hit dice. So if you're going to give a monster hit dice, this one gets 18 hit dice. So if you go over here to the classes, this classes starts out as a default D4. Don't worry about that, because the class actually grants the monster ability. You'll notice monsters don't get skill points, and it's enforced here. They don't get any intelligence boost or negatives. So when this class is granted, it grants this monster class, which grants another ability, and another ability, and another ability. That's all coming from right here. And then it's setting these hit dice on this hit die deal based on the creature's size, all the way up to that D20 with a gargantuan. The template is setting the hit die size for you, so it starts at that D4 and goes all the way up to that D20. It's hidden from your view because less things to worry about, and frankly, you don't need to be adding or removing those because it will mess up your stats. So that is the behind the scenes of how this is working for you. So all you need to do as a home brewer is follow the template that's provided. Just follow an existing creature, copy it, make it your own, and you're good to go. It will work. And yeah, I think that's all I can really hammer home on 5e creatures. It's once you understand the concepts, coding a race is pretty much just doing it over and over and over and over again. We don't change anything unless absolutely needed, and that's just basically what the game system dictates. But since 5e, 4e, Pathfinder, 3.5, 3e are all D20 based, the races all follow the same pattern. So, happy coding to everyone, and hope you gain some insight. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Or if you have something you really want to write a lengthy dissertation about and would like help with, you can email me direct at help@PCGen.org. And that will be in the description. All right, happy coding.